going on, y'all? What's up, everybody? Figured I would come on here and go live and talk high five with y'all today. It's been a while. Let people come in here real quick, and then we'll get into it. I'm not going to take too long either. I'm just pretty much going to talk high five. I'm going to do it this way, and then I'll answer a couple questions at the end of it, and then that'll be it. If you are watching this, if you're not live right now and can't ask questions, all that stuff, don't worry about it. You can comment down in the comment section once you're watching the playback, and you'll be good to go. All right, y'all. Like I said, I'm not going to keep up too much of your time. We're going to get straight into the high five, all right? So I'm going to start talking about it. If you miss something or something like that, I'm going to give it just a second for y'all to come in. And then if you miss something like that, you could just play it back once it's posted. All right. So starting it off pitching today, Robbie Ray and Eric Lauer are the two guys that I'm really liking because Robbie Ray is going against Miami, which is a solid spot. He's been incredibly consistent lately. 21-22, 21-23, 21-24. Like, the dude's solid. And then he had an 8 against New York in New York, though. He's just pretty solid. He's got a decent K rate. Not decent. 32% versus lefties, 29% versus righties. So Robbie Ray has been fantastic. And we have a game in course today. So when there is a game in course, you got to save on pitching a little bit and go kind of mid-range. So Robbie Ray and Eric Lauer are the way to go. Eric Lauer is going against Detroit. Vegas has Detroit's implied total at only 3.3. So it's obvious that they expect Detroit not to do much. I expect Detroit not to do much, and Lauer's just a solid option. He's just a consistent option. He just feels pretty safe to me when it comes to getting back, being able to get like consistent pitching and then still be able to get Coors bats. Man, when are you getting back in card-breaking game? I'll talk about that a little later. So right now I'm just talking high five right now. All right, so for the bats, we got Robbie Ray and Eric Lauer as kind of mid-range pitching to be able to allow you to get the bats in Coors. We have Texas Rangers going to Coors. So obviously you're going to want some bats in Coors. There's another spot that I really, really like, though, and you're going to know in the high five. Josh Donaldson and Nelson Cruz, two bats from the Minnesota side. I really love Minnesota today. Their prices are really, really good. You're getting Nelson Cruz at 4.7 against the lefty. That's always good. Josh Donaldson's only 4.5. Going against the lefty Zimmerman, Josh Donaldson hits lefties very, very well. 228 ISO, 374 WOBA. Just overall solid. Nelson Cruz is a beast versus lefties. 366 ISO, 454 WOBA. So Nelson Cruz versus lefty, always good. And it's a bad lefty, and it's in Baltimore, hitter-friendly ballpark. Love Minnesota as well. I really, really, really like Minnesota in GPPs because I'm expecting Coors to be popular, obviously. They always are. So Minnesota is definitely a way that I like to go to possibly get different. Joey Gallo in that game. He's only 4.1, which is just ridiculous. He's been pretty solid lately. 16, 5, 9, 10, 16. Pretty consistent. We know the type of power he has. He has a 244 ISO versus right-handed pitching. It's in Coors. I don't have to explain too much about this. Joey Gallo, obviously, in Coors is going to be a fantastic option. He's got double down upside. You know what you could possibly get from him. He's only 4.1. It's just crazy. Him and Adolis Garcia at 4.2. There's plenty of options in that Coors game that you could go with. So that's it. So for the high five, we got Robbie Ray and Eric Lauer as kind of cheapish mid-range pitching to be able to allow us to get the guys that we want, the offense that we want. And then Josh Donaldson and Nelson Cruz from Minnesota, which could be possibly my favorite stack of the day, point per dollar, with the way that these prices are. You've got guys like, you've got Miguel Sano at only 3.6, righty-lefty matchup. All right. You've got Mitch Garver, who's a good price. You've got a lot of Minnesota guys that just really stick out to me as solid point per dollar plays versus a bad lefty in Baltimore. So I think Minnesota could honestly be one of the higher scoring offenses of the day. And I feel like because there's a game in Coors that they could be slept on. So I want to make sure that my people don't sleep on it. All right. So don't sleep on Minnesota, please. Play some Minnesota. They're going to be a fantastic option. Obviously, get some Coors pieces. Joey Gallo is going to be fantastic in Coors. Obviously, lefty-righty matchup. Adolis Garcia, the home run leader. If you have the money, do you like going Bassett against Seattle? Okay, so yeah, now that I'm done giving you guys a high five, I'm going to answer some questions. Bassett against Seattle. Seattle has been bad. So I'm completely on board with going Bassett at 9-1 against Seattle. He had a huge game last game, getting 45 against the depleted Angels squad with no Trout. He's overall been solid, man. I mean, he had a couple rough starts in the beginning of the season. Then he got a 5 against Minnesota in Minnesota May 16th. And then outside of that, I mean, he's gotten over 20 every single time. He's got the upside of 45 like he showed. So, yeah, Bassett at 9-1 is completely fine. If you end up being able to find that money, yes. Definitely like him. If you want to get contrarian, like a lower owned route, then going a guy like, I mean, obviously we know how much the Yankees can strike out. They're very free swinging. Tyler Glasnow obviously has some crazy upside. He can end up having a big game if you're able to have money. And, you know, if we have some huge value pop in offenses today. I do want to mention, I believe they're going to have the roof open in Arizona, and I believe it's incredibly hot there, which is good for hitting. So guys like Josh Rojas, I've been playing a lot of Rojas at second base because he's been fairly cheap and leading off. In a position where he's got the lefty-righty matchup with the roof open, I think that's a solid option as well. Polanco's another Minnesota guy that I like. Another thing I wanted to mention, you know, if you get left over with the money in hitting, I'm completely fine with going. Like, I think guys like, you know, double dong upside guys like Acuna could be low owned because there's a game in Coors and he's going against Strasburg. But Acuna's got a good history versus Strasburg, and we know the type of potential he has. And Strasburg gives up home runs. So, and it's in Atlanta. And Vegas has Atlanta's implied total at 4.5. So they're not expecting Strasburg to shut Atlanta down in any form or fashion. So I really like Acuna as possibly a low-owned, high-upside bat. But, yeah, Adolis Garcia, Joey Gallo, those two guys stick out to me as guys that I really like in that game, especially Joey Gallo being number one. And then to touch on one more time, the Minnesota side. Really love Donaldson, really love Cruz, really love a lot of these Minnesota guys because their prices are a little too cheap in a hitter-friendly ballpark against a bad lefty, plain and simple. So, yeah, if you have the money, you can go guys like Chris Bassett. You can completely go that. I like Eric Lauer and the other dude. Who was the other dude I was talking about? Robbie Ray as solid mid-range options. But, yeah, you can go Bassett. Bassett looks completely fine if you have the money. Now, if you can't go Mitch Garver, somebody said any punt catcher that I like. When it comes to punt catchers, let me check that out because I really love Mitch Garver at 4.6. He's like my go-to guy. By the way, Minnesota's at a 4.9 implied total, which is incredibly high. That's higher than Colorado. Let me see. That's higher than Texas. So Minnesota's the highest implied total. So I actually just noticed that just now while I'm live right now. I expected Coors to be higher Vegas total, but it looks like Minnesota is higher than both of them. If you're going to punt catcher, and my cat is right here annoying me. Move. Okay, let me see. Let's see cheap guys. If Kyle Higashioka starts at catcher for the Yankees at 2.7, he's a solid option. Let me see, because I've already put my projections in. Let me see something real quick. By the way, the green light optimizer, we're working on getting our projections even better right now, so that's why both optimizers are down at the moment. We are working on getting our projections even better than they were before, adding some stats to add into it. Let me see. You got Jose Godoy at 2-1, who might be starting for Seattle. You have to keep an eye on that, though. He's got the lefty-righty matchup against Bassett. You've got Eric Haas for Detroit going against Lauer, righty-lefty matchup at 2.6. Maldonado, Tyler Stevenson. It's against Nola, so I don't love it. I don't love a lot of these cheap guys. I guess I'll mention Kurt Suzuki if he starts for the Angels. Got the righty-lefty against Alex Wood. But yeah, outside of that, Jose Godoy, lefty-righty, he's only 2-1. So if you're really trying to punt, do you typically fade Coors and GPPs? It just depends. I mean, honestly, in GPPs, you're gonna want some. Like if you're playing, it depends how many lineups you're building, how many entries you're trying to put in. Like if you're making 150 lineups like the pros do, you're gonna have lines where you're stacking Coors. If you're only playing like one line and you're just going for that top spot, it's probably best to fade Coors and try to get lower owned. So yeah, if you're playing just one single entry GPP, I would probably say fade Coors, probably go Minnesota stack. Or if Minnesota looks like they're going to be super chalk, then stat cores. So you just got to kind of play it with that. I'm going to answer a couple more questions, y'all. With FanDuel being a one-pitcher site, who looks like the pay up? Let me check out FanDuel real quick. 1 second. Let me pull up my stuff for FanDuel. All right, so because over on FanDuel, you only have to get one pitcher right. Most of the time, that's what I spend most of my day trying to make sure I get right. Because if you get the pitcher right, a lot of times you'll be looking okay. So once you get that pitcher right, it's all good from there. And you guys know how I like to play it. I like to make sure I get the right pitcher and then go from there. Now, if you want to make sure you get some bats, you guys know I obviously love Eric Lauer today. I love a guy like Andrew Heaney at 6'7". So Lauer at 7'8", Andrew Heaney at 6'7". These guys are okay options. San Francisco can be a little pesky at times so far this year. When it comes down to the best pitcher on this slate, at the end of the day, it's probably going to be the best pitcher on the slate is Tyler Glasnow. But the matchup against the Yankees isn't fantastic. I'd probably go Lauer at 7'8" and just stack up some big dogs and try to go for a GPP on FanDuel. You know what I'm saying? On FanDuel, I'd probably go a Lauer or a Glasnow. If you're trying to get like what is believed to be the safest pitcher you can possibly get, it would probably be Glasnow. Lauer is a very good price over there, though, as well as Robbie Ray is a very good price over there. So they're all solid options. But yeah, Glasnow's completely fine. I think Glasnow will probably be the higher owned of the two. In cash games, you probably just go Glasnow. You guys know how it is on FanDuel. On FanDuel, you get the safest pitcher you can get, and then you take some risk in bats because the bats are really solid prices most of the time. Let me take a look at that real quick. If I look at hitters right now, and I look at value, Josh Donaldson. To put it in perspective for you, Josh Donaldson's 2.8. He's probably massive chalk over there, but rightfully so. 2.8. That's just stupid cheap. You have CJ Cron in course if he is in fact in the lineup at 2.5. Like, you're gonna get plenty of bats at good prices on FanDuel. So most of the time you want to spend up for a pitcher and just go safe. But if you want to go GPP, then Lauer is probably a solid way to go and go for double dunk upside bats. But safe route, the one that I would feel most comfortable going is probably going Glasnow. What? And then go something's falling. But and then going, figuring the bats out, because bats you can always figure out. All right, y'all. And that's it. I think I'm going to start doing the high five like this. I'm going to come live. I'm going to give you guys the high five. Let me just reiterate what the high five was one more time. The high five is Robbie Ray, Eric Lauer, Josh Donaldson, Nelson Cruz, and Joey Gallo. So we got the course piece with Joey Gallo, and we've got my favorite stack of the day in Minnesota, Josh Donaldson, Nelson Cruz, a couple guys against a bad lefty, hitter-friendly ballpark in Baltimore. Drop that like down below if you haven't already. Greenlightdfs.com to join the squad. By the way, you know what? Let me give y'all a bet. Anybody who bets on games, let me give you guys a bet that I like today while I'm on here. Greenlightbets.com, if you like to bet on games, you can hit that up, greenlightbets.com, for the premium bets over there. Greenlight DFS, obviously, is for the DFS stuff. Let me give you guys a bet for the day. I'm going to give you a baseball. Let's see. What do you think about Miami as a GPP stack? It's interesting because the pitcher against Miami will be high owned. So I'm going to start it off with a underdog pick of the day. I'm going to go the White Sox. All right, I'm going to give you guys a one bet today on this live show. I'm going to go the White Sox against Cleveland. I know Bieber is starting for Cleveland, so that's a solid spot, but the White Sox offense is pretty damn good, and Cease is not a scrub himself. Cease actually has a better ERA than Bieber does this season, so I think the White Sox have a shot to win, and they're an underdog, so take the White Sox, get you a little high upside play. Thank you guys for joining me as always, man. Good luck today, and I'm out. Peace.